Okay, figured I'd talk a little Doctor Who beyond my reviews of classic Who, which is kind of sad seeing how great it once was. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, the current Doctor Who with the, I guess, the 13,000th Doctor. Yeah. Um, this is just seeing stuff online and whatnot being tossed about. And it's a subject that's come up long before, and I've already done a video on it. But well, I got more subscribers now, so I guess I'll go back to it because my ideas haven't really changed that much over it. But the subject being the potential for a romance with the Doctor and the character of Yaz. Just on that alone, I don't really have a problem with it. The reason being, and I think this would be a means by which that actually would fit in with the overall character of the Doctor, because even in the classic show, even though there was a kind of a rule, there wouldn't be any romance between the companions and whatnot, but it certainly looked like it in some cases. But the pattern of the Doctor is his companions were always female. He preferred women, and there were male companions, but they were just sort of there. The only one that really mattered was Jamie. And well, Adric died, so then he felt bad, you know. But for the most part, the more serious relationships were with these women. There were, you know, some more than others. You know, Joe and Sarah and Romana and all that. But and then, of course, in the new show, and I guess you can throw in the '96 movie as well, you know, the romance became a part of it and making the Doctor a romantic hero, and that was certainly, I mean, completely solidified by David Tennant and all that, and the whole Rose story. But there you go. The Doctor loves women. So, boy, what if the Doctor regenerated into a woman? Well, just ask yourself, if you're a man, and you're a heterosexual man, and you, somehow, some way, you turned into a woman, you'd be a lesbian. You would. I know I would. So, if the Doctor was to have any romantic interests or stories in this version of the Doctor, I would think it would be a woman. And so the problem with a storyline for Yaz and the Doctor is that in 2 seasons or series, they've done absolutely nothing to develop anything like this. I mean, Yaz is just sort of there. Really, the only character that came through was Graham, and well, there would be an interesting coupling. But and then to a lesser extent Ryan, mostly because of his relationship with Graham, which was actually pretty good in the show, one of the few high points of the current Doctor Who. But they're both leaving, so nothing happening there. So the problem here is the groundwork has not been laid. I mean, this is Photoshop going around suggesting that this might be a clue as to what might happen in the festive special, which I guess they still haven't decided if it'll be Christmas or New Year's. Oh, geez, you know, because, you know, Christmas is problematic. So, whichever, but there it is, that snowy scene, and there they are looking, you know, longingly into each other's eyes. But there's been none of that. There's just that brief scene where Yaz's mother says, "Oh, are you two dating?" You know, and so this would seem to suggest that Yaz, at the very least, is bisexual and all this sort of thing. But that said, Yaz is a little embarrassed that she even said it, and the Doctor jokingly, "Oh, are we?" You know, and all that. And then it's over. And then it's never mentioned again. There's never any scenes with the Doctor and Yaz. It's all just, the only scenes there are together is just related to the, you know, solving the problem they're dealing with, whatever adventure they're having. And that's it. So they haven't developed anything there. So to suddenly just slap that in is kind of lazy, because he had all this opportunity to do that and he didn't. The laziness is the biggest problem. Well, one of them anyway, for the doctor here in this version of it. Things are just slapped in, and the worst of all, of course, the timeless child thing. It's just, I mean, yeah, I know they threw in their dumb little clues here and there, but good God, the actual episode reveal, it's just the conversation, and the doctor falls for it. I mean, it's all according to the master. I mean, in the Matrix on a dead planet, and he could have manipulated that. You can make up all kind of things about it. It was all nonsense. Why would the doctor just accept it? The only thing with there was that Dr. Ruth, but Dr. Ruth, she had a husband. Yeah, well, who gets killed, and then the Dr. Ruth is just doesn't seem to really care. So was that really her husband, or did she just think it because he was, watching over her while she was, her identity was hidden? I don't know. But overall, I think the doctor would prefer women, and even when the doctor is a woman. And so that plays into that, and so that's why I don't really have a problem with the concept. But this team working on it, and at this point where they didn't develop it, they don't really think it through. They totally missed the opportunity of what a story of the doctor regenerating into a woman could have been, and it never even occurred to them apparently. And it was wasted. But so much has been wasted. It was really painful to watch such a great talent like Peter Capaldi get wasted, and he was, and it's very sad. There's a lot of problems with Doctor Who beyond, because you can wipe away all of it, but you still got the same crew. It's still going to be bad. You can have a male doctor if that's what you want, and it's still going to be crap. It's just the problems with it. Case in point, the other little apparent leak, this prop of the Dalek, because of the festive special, the Daleks will be in it, and I'm assuming more than one, unlike last time. But here it is. It's basically the same model as the previous one, but just painted silver here. Why? Some suggested this adds a more feminine feature to the Dalek. It's a salt and pepper shaker. So still that version of it, which doesn't make any sense. Why would they suddenly look that way? That was a one-time thing, and it was all because within that story the Dalek had to build from whatever raw materials he could find, and that's why it looked clumsy and weird. So, and then it got tossed into a star, so it's gone. The idea that Dalek could then influence the Daleks going forward and make them all look the same and all that sort of thing. I guess they'd have to come up with some way that Dalek escaped, but it was a very primitive, with earth materials made machine, and it didn't have all the abilities that the others had, because other Daleks, they could teleport and all this type of stuff. I don't think it had any means of escape, but I suppose they could just lazily say it did. Because everything else is pretty damn lazy. Or they're just not even going to mention it. It's just, for some reason, in Chibnall's world, all Daleks wear girdles. So there you go. It just, Yeah, I don't know, because not watching it. Yeah, I'll talk about, little stories like these that pop up and stuff, because the concepts and whatnot are interesting. And, you could have done a romance there. With the Doctor, but this crew doesn't have the ability to do it. They didn't lay the groundwork, and yes, Mandeep Gill seems like a very nice person, but and there again, maybe it's not her fault. The writing is terrible. They don't give her anything, so I don't know. I don't know how good of an actor she is and how she could work that storyline and whatnot and make it interesting, but. so far everything's just been pretty flat, and that includes the doctor too. There again, maybe it's not completely the doctor's fault, but based on interviews and whatnot and how Jodie has talked about it, yeah, it's just they picked the wrong actors to play the role. And I mean, one of the comparisons would be between her and Matt Smith. Matt Smith, who, you know, again, same as her in a lot of ways, didn't have much interest in Doctor Who, wasn't a fan like David Tennant or Capaldi, but he did his due diligence. He was a professional actor. He did his research. He watched some of the shows. He got an idea. He came up with a character, and he played it as a very old man in a very young man's body. Well, it's obvious what Jodie should have done, and she's supposed to be playing a man in a woman's body. You know what I mean? but that would have been interesting. That would have been something she could have done, but apparently, I guess, can't. You know, she couldn't even make an accent for the voice because it was too hard. So, yeah, there you go. It's a lot of just laziness that's really bringing down, and not just Doctor Who, a lot of shows, but it's just, there you go. So, initially, don't have a problem with the concept. Do have a problem with these people doing it, and I think just don't do it, because I don't know what they can do. I don't know how you save this now. Timeless Child has just devastated it, unless, of course, you retcon it out of there, which could be done very easily. The Master lied. You could do that. In the whole story, it's just the Master delivers the plot, literally tells you this, after correctly criticizing the Cybermen's plot, which was very stupid, and then sort of does it himself. I mean, the show was unaware of it, so, which is, yeah, why rehash it? It's gone. So anyway, there you go. Poor Doctor Who. Alright, thank you for watching and listening. Why not like and subscribe, and check out that link description below. That'll take you to my mini stores and have plenty of goodies for you. You know, hats, mugs, stickers, posters, all that goody stuff. Plus, you can head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book Night Night. Oh, yeah. Plus, you can also catch my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, over at RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on my channel at BitChute. That's the Mr Nailsin channel on BitChute.com.